Hello there, Leo. How are you today? Let's do a quick love reading for you. Let's try to figure out what are they thinking about you right now. Let's get started. All right. Now remember, this is a collective reading, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, here we go. Leo, what is your person, your partner thinking about you right now? Here we go. All right. Bottom of the deck. Wow. So right now, they're really feeling as though they're emotionally fulfilled in this situation. I'm going to put a couple more cards down here and up above here just to kind of do the complete spread here. But yeah, they are really thinking a lot of great things. They are really hoping for this, and they really see a future here with you as far as, kind of coming together and having joy and harmony and being in synchrony with you. This is a wonderful card, actually, wonderful energy. Now, currently, their current emotional state is quite strong. They really feel as though they have the ability here to really create this, which is kind of like this pervasive theme here. They really want something great with you, something that's very harmonious, joyful, and really fulfilling. And wow, they really feel as though they have a lot of control over this. And the challenge here that's blocking them from really getting to this is this Three of Cups, which in the past, I've always said that the Three of Cups can represent like a third party situation, but not always. Third party, it doesn't necessarily have to be something terrible like a third person, right? It could be a third party in a sense like they may be, working too much, for example. So like I said, person, place, or thing. They could be working too much, or if they're going out a lot with their friends, or, just basically something that's taking away their focus on this right here, right? So that's something that we'll kind of uncover here and hopefully get to the bottom of by the time this reading is done. Here we've got in the recent past, they've kind of felt as though, it's something that they've had to, like coming into a relationship that is so meaningful and giving themselves to this relationship. In the recent past, something obviously has triggered them to want to move forward with you, right? To accept the love. But in the past, they've obviously been, hurt where they are blocking their heart from any kind of love. But something has happened to where, they've kind of awakened and they're now accepting this love that's coming towards them. So that's really great. So in the past, they've been apathetic and kind of removed, detached, and now they're opening themselves up and they're opening their heart up to something great. And they really are charged up about it to the point where it's like, this is what I want. This is going to be great. I'm going to have to decide on this, right? This can also be a card about friendship. There may be some other people here. Like I said, third party situation, maybe some friends are kind of reluctant in supporting your relationship, for example. If this individual was kind of like the life of the party, and then all of a sudden they decide, okay, I need to control my partying days, maybe some of their friends might not enjoy it, right? Or family members, things like that may not like that they are spending so much time with you, that sort of thing. But this can also be about celebrations, right? Not everything is bad, but it could be about celebrations. So in the near future here, there's going to be victory, right? And so they completely believe that by making this move here, by really controlling everything that's going around you guys, by controlling the outcome or really trying to manifest, I guess that's the better term, what they want, which is this, the Ten of Cups. They're going to be very victorious. So they're going to do everything they can to get to this point of victory, of celebration, of honoring the relationship with you, which I think is absolutely amazing, right? Now, what they're not saying is that this is how they see you, but they may not have completely told you. They really see this relationship as something that can be very nurturing and fulfilling for them, right? This is the divine feminine, and the Empress is able to create. And you see here, the Magician is pointing to the Empress, and what this individual really wants is to be able to create this. This is their goal. And they really see you, but they're not going to tell you right now that you are absolutely the divine feminine energy that's going to balance out their energy, right? Again, this doesn't have to be a woman or a male or whatever, but this is just the energy of nurturing and creation and abundance, that sort of thing, right? And here we go. They are kind of thinking about maybe some memories, right, that they have surrounding you if you've known this person for quite a while, or if you've just started dating, maybe you have done some activities together that really bring them a lot of joy, right? This is joyful thoughts, joyful memories, right? The other thing too is they may reminisce about their own past, and they're wanting to recreate that with you, right? Recreate those happy memories, those happy emotional states. So that's actually quite good. Now here, as far as you're concerned, you may be kind of holding back a little bit, and not completely engaging here, because you might be feeling like, is this too good to be true? Because this person really is into me, but I have my own personal hurts. I have my own thoughts about engaging into this relationship that things don't seem as real as they should be. Like, when is the ball going to drop? When am I going to get the bad news, right? It's almost like it's an illusion to you. Like there's something else that you need to uncover. Now here, what this is telling me, the advice for you is that you need to trust your intuition. You need to go within and really look for the red flags, right? You want to ask yourself, your divine self, like, is there something here that I need to know about that's really scary and suspicious, right? You may be suspicious about a possible third-party situation, which most of us would be, right? If things seem to be too good to be true and they're kind of moving in a trajectory that's really positive, there's a part of us that kind of hesitates a little bit and say, wait a minute, before I completely engage in this person, let's make sure that everything is in the up and up, and that there is no third party, that I'm not getting played, which is totally natural, right? I mean, we all want to know those things. Now here, this is where, I kind of always, this is why I worry about like a third party situation here, because you've got the Two of Pentacles, which means that there's some juggling here. There's some, thoughts here of like trying to juggle, try to create balance, right? And so this individual may be trying to juggle their time between third party and you. And again, it doesn't have to be like another person per se, like they're cheating on you. It could just be like they want to spend so much time with you because they want this with you, and they know, and they're so raring to go, and they really care deeply about you and see you in such high regard, and they want to create this relationship here with you, and they're trying to balance their time. Right? If they're so heavily engaged in another commitment, like their job, right? They have a high-power job where it takes them away from you. They're trying to find a way to balance things out so that they can create this. You see what I'm saying? So it's not completely like a bad thing, like they're cheating on you or anything like that. It's just that something else is kind of diverting their focus. Now, what they're hoping for is something deeper. Now, this is the Marriage card. They're really, truly hoping that they can create something out of this. They'll come out victorious, right? And you guys will deepen this relationship to the point of incredible stability here. And again, this is like the Marriage card, and if marriage is not your cup of tea, this just signifies that you're basically going into something deeper, with regards to this relationship, that this is something that's going to be more than just a casual fling. This is what they're hoping for. But they're just trying to balance things out, right? Because something else might be competing for their time. So here, they're going to be driven by this sense of loss, right? Fear from the past. And so, maybe in a previous situation, their previous relationship, they were left out, right? They were left out in the cold, and it really broke their heart, which is why this individual is sitting here under the tree with their arms crossed over their chest, because they don't want to be vulnerable again. This is a card of insecurity. This is something that they're having to confront. There's a part of them that fears, it's going so well, and this is what they want, but that would mean that they would have to let themselves be vulnerable to you, right? Because when you bare yourself, your soul, to another person, it really leaves you so vulnerable to where if a person just walks out on you, that's going to just crush you, right? So there's this part of them that's kind of like, although they want to create all of this, there's a part of them that fears that level of vulnerability. The other thing that this can mean also is, let's say that, they were really close to some friends. They had a best friend, which is kind of like acting as a third party situation, and they're making the choice to spend more time with you. There is going to be a part of them that's going to feel a sense of loss, because if they're spending more time with you, right, and not so much with this best friend or, work or something like that that's consuming their time, they're going to feel a sense of loss. So two things can be going on here, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, let's shuffle these cards and let's kind of open this up a little bit more. Okay, but they are trying to juggle. They're trying to balance something here. Yeah, and they know that they're going to have to walk away from something. So that speaks more and more that there is some sort of third-party situation here, person, place, or thing. Doesn't have to be anything nefarious. It just means that they really want to spend so much time with you, and they see you as something that is incredibly stable, right? They want to create this, but they know that they only have so much time and that they're going to have to walk away from something, right? Now, it's up to you to try to figure out, is this really a third-party situation like another person? But it doesn't feel like it, because an individual wouldn't want so much of this, right? All of this here, these are such positive cards here that it doesn't tell me that there's anything really nefarious going on. I think this person, may be engaged a little bit, too much, like in work or something like that. Yeah, and here, balance will prevail here. This individual is trying very hard to try to give you more time and really devote themselves into your relationship. Just know that, balance is on the horizon, right? They're going to come up with a decision that's going to be fair, right? And here's the thing. Karma is blind, right? What you put into it, if you put in negative energy, you get negative energy back. If you put positive energy, you get positive energy back. But overall, balance will be restored here, and it's going to work in your favor, right? That's why I don't necessarily think that this is really a bad situation. Now, here you've got the Seven of Swords, lying, cheating, trickery. Or it can also mean planning and strategizing. So this individual could be behind the scenes trying to strategize to figure out a way how to create that balance so that they can still see their best friend or family or whatever, still devote time to work, for example, another third-party situation, right? And trying to figure out how to make that work. Now, if this is a third-party situation where it's another individual, like they're cheating or something, things will balance out, right? Things will balance out. One of you will walk away, and the other person will feel a sense of loss. But honestly, I don't feel that right now, because you don't start out with the 10 of Cups as the overall energy, and then end up here. Like that doesn't make any sense here. I truly believe that the third party situation is like maybe a family member, or who, like they come around all the time, and then all of a sudden, now that they've met you and they're so enamored with you, they no longer come around, so they're trying to balance things out. Same thing with the best friend, same thing about work, they're trying to balance out how they can still be effective at work without losing so much, right? Or having to walk away from their job, but there will be balance. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else here that we can look at. I want to take a look at this moon card here, because there's a part of you that's kind of holding back and thinking, is there something else here that's going on I'm not sure about? I want more clarity. Yeah, so, there's a part of you that is very exhausted from previous relationships maybe that have put you through the ringer, and you just don't want to commit. But, Leo, you have a lot of grit. You have a lot of fight in you, and you don't give up right away. So this is a good thing, because, there's a part of you that's, of course you have to trust your intuition, but there's a part of you that says, hang on, don't give up on this relationship. This is something very good. Don't give up quite yet. This person, there's something more here, right? So there's a part of you that's saying, just hang on. Yeah, look at this. This person also gives you emotional fulfillment, but because you have your own personal hurts from the past, you're just a little bit reluctant. But look at this. This is a wonderful card, and it goes along here next to the moon, but also here with the Two of Pentacles. So something great is going to transpire here between the two of you. After everything is said and done, and they work out this balance, try to create this balance here. And again, I truly don't, it doesn't feel to me like something totally nefarious. I think this person's really strategizing to create balance here. And they know that there's something that they're going to have to give up so that they can have you, right? They can have this victory, and they can have this upgrade in the status of your relationship, okay? Let's clarify a little bit more here. I just want to take a look here about this Five of Pentacles. It's pertaining to work. There's something here that they are mastering behind the scenes, right? Whether it's a sport, a skill, a job thing, like, are they going to school even, right? And they meet you and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I really want to be with this person. They're so emotionally fulfilling. How can I make it so that I don't miss out on things at school? Like if they're training for something, like they're in grad school or they're in medical school, that kind of thing, where they have to devote so much of their time into that job, but they feel like they don't want to lose you because they really see something great, and this is something that's really, hard on them, and they're trying to strategize, trying to figure out how they can have this. Yeah, so this is a really good reading. Bottom of the deck here, Queen of Swords. Yeah, they're going to be very honest and direct. There's a part of them that's incredibly analytical, incredibly intelligent, and they're trying to make sense, almost like trying to create some sort of equation or recipe or something to have both. You know, like if they're training for something, right? This third party situation is that they're in training or they're in school or they just started a new job, for example. They're trying to look at this logically, right? Still listen to their intuition, but look at it logically and say, how can I make this work so I can have this, right? This, and this, you know, and I can continue to have this individual in my life because I put this person on such a pedestal, right? So anyway, so let's get some other advice here. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to know about that they aren't saying, that you don't know about. Reflection, being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. Yeah, so if they are away for school, if they're in the military, you know, something like that that's kept you guys away from each other, they're thinking like, man, this person really means so much to me. I really, you know, sometimes when you're away from a person, you don't realize just how much you love them or care for them until like they're not with you, right? So if you've got a military person here that's refining their skills and they've been deployed, for example, they're gaining clarity and saying, man, that person is somebody I really want to spend my life with. You know, what just fell? Oh my goodness. So that's something to pay attention to, right? Something just fell in the back. All right, regret. I wish this never happened. Yeah, so if you guys got into an argument before this individual left, for example, like if they got deployed, you know, then they're regretful that that was their last encounter with you. Or if, you know, you had a little spat because you were mad because, you know, they're not spending as much time with you, they're very regretful. Yeah, shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. And maybe, Leo, you turned around and you told this person like you work too much. You know, you don't know how to create balance in your life, right? And so maybe they're realizing, yeah, I do spend a lot of time focused on something else, that I don't have anything else going for my life except for this thing that I'm working towards. So I think that maybe you kind of brought that out. Runner, I don't want to run anymore. Yeah, so there's a part of them that really has shunned this, has really like taken a step back because they don't know how to juggle this hard work or this devotion, this focus. They didn't know how to, you know, balance that out. And now they want to come back to you. They want to come back to you and make this all work out because that time that you guys have been apart has really woken them up and opened their eyes. Okay, let's see if you've got any advice for you. Let's see. We've got reaching your goal. Everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future. Yeah, so Leo, if what you want is this deeper commitment and victory and recognition, you're going to get that. Right? Everything is going to manifest. Trust your gut instinct. Trust your intuition. I think deep inside, this individual also is very emotionally fulfilling for you. And I think that both of you want this, you know, that connection. So go with it, right? Forgive and release. You are stronger when you carry love and forgiveness rather than anger. Look where it falls down into, and that's the regret card here, which tells me that, you know, you guys got in an argument, right? A little spat. And there's a part of you that kind of broke off because, again, there's a part of you that's suspicious and guarded. And, you know, Spirit saying, just forgive and release. Open yourself to love. It is safe for you to let your heart be seen. Don't be scared. Open your heart to love. Okay? Open your heart to love. Law of attraction. You have been manifesting this relationship. Everything you want will soon be yours. Yeah. Look at this. I mean, this is great because you also have the Magician card here, which is the main manifester in the tarot deck. Open yourself to love. You know, any of these cards can speak to you as well. But yeah, open yourself to love, right? Law of attraction. You can manifest whatever you want, right? Forgive and release. That's what you need to do here. Let there be balance. It's going to happen. All right, Leo, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.